before we get into this week's episode of Grassroots Racer, I'm excited to tell you about some really cool events that are happening this week. Heartland Raceway Moama will be hosting the North-South Super Sedan Series over the Easter weekend. With a 50-lap feature race on Sunday night, it's going to be really exciting seeing all the cars fly around the speedway. I hope to see you there checking it out, the racing, or if you're in the Bendigo area, come out to the sale yards this Easter weekend because there'll be a fun dash on there. And, we'll be at the Bendigo Car Club where I'll be competing in my Hyundai Getz and we'll be having lots of fun. And hopefully I can get back in that car and just be the same as I was before. So enjoy this episode of Grassroots Racer, guys. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Grassroots Racer. I always like speaking to people who are not always the driver but are involved in motorsport in different roles. Tonight's guest has been involved in motorsport as a graphic designer and art director. And he is now a freelancer designer for all aspects of motorsport. So to find out more about what he does and what he's doing now, I welcome Mikey Harland. So how are you tonight, Mikey?
I'm doing really well, Flipper. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. Can you tell me how you first got interested in motorsport and did you do any racing when you were younger?
I don't think I had a choice getting into motorsport when I was younger. It was kind of part of my upbringing. My father is a very keen motorsport enthusiast and we lived very close to Ruapuna Park in Christchurch. So you didn't need to convince my dad too much to go down to the racetrack and watch, even if it was just a club day. We'd be down on the embankment. It wasn't always that interesting for me when I was really, really young. So I always had a bunch of Matchbox cars and I'd sort of make a track in the dirt. And I think just over time, that sort of amount of time around a racetrack becomes embedded in who you are. So as much as I tried to, get rid of motorsport for a little bit of my life, I went off and did a few other things, music, etc. It caught up to me. And I'm so glad it did because, I'm very, very fortunate to be doing what I'm doing now. I didn't do any racing when I was younger, really. We didn't have the budget as a family for me to even get into a kart or anything like that. I mean, we wanted to. I think the closest I got to racing really was taking my road car down to the drag on Saturdays and doing a run. But other than that, I was a keen motorsport fan and still am.
Yeah, so you mentioned when you were younger, you used to hang around the track. As you got a bit older, you got a diploma as an interactive designer. How did you go starting to work in the motorsport industry?
Yeah, good question. So it's a really weird one, to be honest, and it's kind of surreal to tell the story, but I got into motorsport through sim racing. And I got into sim racing because there was a game that allowed you to create your own liveries on the cars. And that was always something I really, really wanted to do when I was younger. I had the interactive design diploma. So there was a part of me that wanted to sort of create video games and do all that sort of stuff. I studied animation for a little bit and did a diploma in Disney animation. So I was always drawing and creating my whole life. And when the sort of like sim world came out, it was like joining two passions. I really liked creating art. I really liked motorsport. Now I'm able to create art for motorsport. We created a league and we were streaming it every week and it was really successful. And someone from Cropeo Motorsport mentioned to a friend of ours that they were looking for a graphic designer. I put an application in and I didn't expect to hear back, because GT racing, supercars, all that sort of stuff was just well beyond my scope. And I got the job. So overnight, my life changed from working in a call center and playing video games to traveling Australia with Australian GT and supercars and doing all that. And it was a bit surreal, to be honest, to get it from a video game. And I sort of don't really like that that's how it happened, but you take what you can get.
Yeah. You said you started on a game, what was the game?
Yeah. Gran Turismo Sport. So I played Gran Turismo when I was a kid. And then when Gran Turismo Sport came out, I got right into it. Really, really into it. More so in the creative designing the cars sort of thing.
Yeah, hold on. I got something. When I was younger and GT Sport was sort of newish, I had the initiative to I've taken it. Yeah. These were my I'm not sure how to bring that. Can you see them? Those were my dodgy liveries from when I was younger.
Amazing. I love it. That's so good.
I'm quite the graphic designer.
Mate, you know, we all were at some point. I still am some days. Mate, that's awesome. It's a great platform for anyone to just sort of be creative or, you know, share an interest in motorsport. It is, you know, now after COVID and everything, sim racing is almost a necessity for drivers. You know, driver training and all of that around iRacing, everything is just huge now. You know, the community is massive. So for us to be sort of kicking around on the PlayStation back then, and like I'm sitting in my rig now because it's the comfiest place in the house. So it's definitely a bit of a backbone of motorsport, so to speak. And I guess a lot of the older generation would probably turn their nose up to the fact that we're sitting in front of our computer screens. But you know, it is what it is. It's great practice. It translates.
Yeah, I mean, I would also sit in your sim rig because from the photos I've seen, it looks very nice compared to mine. Mine's just the next level racing seat. Nothing too special, but you know, gets the job done. You were telling me before that you work for
Cropeo Motorsport.
Cropeo Motorsport as a graphic designer.
Yeah.
What was it like?
Yep.
Yeah, what was it like to do your designs for the team and work with them?
I couldn't. It was scary. It was these guys are professionals. You know, I was working with you know, people who have been in the industry their entire lives, people who have come from supercars. You know, people who are legends in the sport. And here I am, this newbie that came from a video game. It definitely didn't fly well. It was really scary. At first it was really scary. So I needed to prove myself. I needed to earn my stripes. So I took on a lot of roles. So not just being the designer, but also going to events and helping with the setup of the drivers sort of tent and you know, helping run Australian GT essentially with a small group of people. I learned a lot. I learned on the fly very, very quickly, and it's a completely different world to what you think it would be. It's hard work, it's long nights, it's early mornings, and if you're not in love with it, then you get out.
Yeah, the GT category is very good. I'm sure you would have watched it on the weekend since Melbourne Performance Centre were winning the thing.
Yeah, and fun fact about that, the guys running that car, Ryan Millier and Trent Levi, they were the two guys that trained me up at Cropeo Motorsport. So after everything and through COVID, we've all sort of ended up semi-involved in some way with Melbourne Performance Centre, and that's really just sort of a testament to how big they are and how inclusive they are with people in motorsport. So yeah, so cool to see them get a couple of podiums and a win. So yeah, awesome. Loved it.
Yeah, we were watching and those Audis were on fire. You did some work for Supercars and the Shannon's National Series. That would have been a lot of fun. Do you have a favourite memory from that time?
Oh yeah, like hands down the Bend. Round 2 of the Australian GT Endurance Championship. We had Liam Talbot and Shane Van Gisbergen driving the car. it wasn't even so much that we won, and that was Cropeo Motorsport's first win. It wasn't even that. Or the fact that the weather was terrible all day. It wasn't even that, you know. The best moment, it was like one of those little motorsport moments when you really see how good people are at their craft. And that moment was when we were in the garage and Shane got on the radio. He had seen a car spin and he noticed that that car was starting to roll back. And so he got on the radio to Killer and let Killer know, I think there's going to be a safety car. I think we should box now. So as you know, with GT racing, you've got compulsory pit stop times. They go for a long time. You've got to sit there based on your driver ranking. So he made the call to box early and do the mandatory pit stop. And as he's entering pit lane, the yellow flags came out. They basically got a free pit stop and they absolutely cruised home for the win. It was a kind of in that moment when I realized just how good the people around me actually are at what they do. It was really, really awesome, man. Honestly, you know, it did make me feel pretty special to be part of that, you know, and just to watch it back on the broadcast. Yeah, won't forget that one. Can't take it away from me. Best moment in motorsport.
So you definitely believe that Shane made the right call to pit?
Oh, yeah, won the race, 100%. We all knew that he had won the race as soon as he made the call. There was still, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes left of the race. But, you know, nobody else pitted under yellow. So, you know, when your pit stops can be upwards of a minute. Yep.
Yeah, that was
definitely the right call.
Definitely a smart move from you guys. You've also been working for a company called Chill Out Systems as their art director. Can you tell me a little bit more about what their company are involved in motorsport? Chill
Out Systems is the brainchild of Charles Klein. He's an Atlanta-based race car driver and business owner. He was in the market looking for something better than a dry ice system. So as you know, in supercars, they run a dry ice box, and those dry ice boxes, they cost a lot, plagued with errors. We can all remember a Bathurst where a cool suit has failed, or the dry ice has frozen up. Something's gone wrong. And that happens, you know, in all levels of motorsport. So he developed driver cooling unit, and it's far more reliable. It chills down to almost 0 degrees and really, really fast time. It's hot swappable as well, and just a really, really good, reliable, high quality product, and it's at a good price. So he needed someone on board as an art director, graphic designer, and my friend Aaron at Resolution Race Gear said to him, I actually know a guy, I'll put you on to him. I did a wrap for an Audi RS3. I was doing work at Melbourne Performance Centre at the time, and then by chance I got to do a design for an Audi on the other side of the world, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it, and I've now done about 13 or 14 wraps for them, catalogs, you name it. At the moment, we're currently working with Supercars on their Gen 3 program to get the chill out system and the little parent product, the aircon system, which is the helmet blower, it goes in the back, to get them in the new cars. Now, Triple Eight have been running them for us last year, so we're, you know, obviously that connection, Shane talking about the Quantum Pro last year during the championship. You can check some of his interviews in the last season. He's just not even breaking a sweat, and that's a testament to how good the product is. So it's going really well. I get to work from home, which is awesome. It really helped me out during COVID times, and you know, that was just sort of something that happened at the right moment. And we've got a good relationship. We've got a lot of product in development, and I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, so I guess anyone out there, if you are getting too hot in your enclosed car, because they definitely can on a hot sunny day in Australia, definitely check out Chill Out Systems. And another thing is, could you tell us a little bit about the Tart Racing League you're doing at home?
True House Arcade. It was the league I started back on Gran Turismo Sport. I took a little bit of a break from it while I did things with Cropeo Motorsport, and when COVID sort of came and we all migrated to iRacing, it was the time to bring it back. So we're a sort of a casual league, I guess you could say. I guess my mantra is that the real world already takes it seriously. You know, when we go to the track, we take that seriously. That's competitive, that's, you know, motorsport. So all us guys who, you know, work in motorsport needed a place to just, you know, bang doors and have a laugh and swear a bit and, you know, just, yeah, do it all without the hang-ups of, you know, having to rebuild a car throughout the week. So, yeah, the Touring Car Championship runs an Audi, of course, the Audi 90 GTO. So it's an all-wheel drive machine and very difficult to drive. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Tried my hand at commentating. Didn't think that I'd be any good at it, but apparently the boys seem to think it's okay. So, yeah, I just have a lot of fun with it, mate. Sunday nights, I just get to sit in my rig and I don't have to stare because I can't drive that thing. It's too hard. So, yeah, it's just another space for me to be creative outside of my work life. I don't want everything that I create to be for other people. It's really important to claim a little bit of real estate for yourself. You know, your me time is really, really important, especially when your me time is also the same thing you do for your work. So Thrill House exists as an escape, a creative outlet, a way for me to kind of try things out as well. So, and to keep my design skills sharp.
You mentioned to me that you are a freelance designer for all aspects of motorsport. Does that mean that you get to work with a range of different clients and different design projects?
Yeah, it's really good actually. So that'll be like, you know, obviously Lee Partridge we know well. You know, I've helped him out with a few things. You know, sort of a driver branding logo. We wrapped the V. We've done, you know, we've got merch designs, things like that. Other clients will want a race suit. Maybe they've got new sponsors that are going on the car and they need the logos redone. You know, just lots of little clients from sort of grassroots all the way up to, you know, IMSA teams competing. Yeah, all sorts, everything. If it's race cars, I'm all about it, to be honest. So I like having the variancy because it keeps me interested. If I was just doing wrap design, I'd probably get a little bit bored. I do get very antsy. I'm always wanting to do something new. So learning how to do all that stuff took a long time. Learning how to do it really well took even longer. So, yeah, I'm very fortunate to, you know, not only do it for a job, but do it for fun as well.
Do you have a favorite piece of work that you've done for a team or a person?
Yeah, I think that's got to be in two parts, I guess, because, you know, you're always improving and you're always looking to be better, whether that be, you know, yourself as a race driver, trying to improve your lap time. Me as a designer, I'm trying to improve my processes so that I'm not spending so much time. I'm trying to learn how to work smarter. I'm trying to learn new tricks so I can, you know, flex my creative mind and do something that makes me happy. So I think the best thing that I've done so far really would be the first wrap I ever did at Cropeo Motorsport. I mean, that really kicked it all off. That was for the Bathurst 12 hour. You know, that was my first ever 12 hour. I'd come from New Zealand. I'd only really been to club days with my dad, you know. And now I'm at the Bathurst 12 hour in a Pirelli shirt, and one of my designs is on the grid with Dean Canto, you know, Grant Denyer, Marcel Zaloa, and my homie Liam Talbot as well. Like, wow, I couldn't believe it. And, you know, I put a lot of effort into that one. It was my first one. And I even got the model car made afterwards as a little bit of a celebration. So that would be the best, I think.
Yeah, 100%. It would definitely be good to see something that you've created on the grid for the Bathurst 12 Hour. Now, everyone here is going to be interested on getting an iRacing livery done, because I know lots of you guys are on iRacing. And how do they get in contact with you, Mikey, when you're going to do their liveries?
Well, they can check out my Facebook page. I'm rebuilding a website at the moment, so I would usually send them to the website, but it's I'm gonna tear it down the next day or so. So my Facebook page is Kintsugi FM, which is a really pretentious sounding name, I know, but it's a meaning and a name and a meaning that's really important to me. So it's all spaces as well. But look, if you just look up Mikey Harland on Facebook, or you can look up Thrill House Arcade on Facebook. What else is there? There's a bunch of pages.
Or we could link it all down in the description for you.
Or you could put it all in the description for me. Bloody legend, Flipper. Appreciate it.
It's been really interesting finding out about what you do, Mikey. It's one of those sides of motorsports that you don't hear much about, yet everyone loves seeing the car liveries and the team merch. It's a really big part of the sport, so thank you so much for sharing your story, and I look forward to seeing a lot more cool designs. Remember, anyone this week racing, to drive fast and take chances.
You're a legend, Flipper. You do a bloody good job with the stream, mate.
Thanks, mate.